Thưa cô chú anh chị, hôm nay đến nhà của Mr. Bill để học hỏi cách sử dụng máy chẻ củi. Và cháu Vũ đang lái chiếc xe này, cũng hứa là dạy Hiệp lái chiếc máy xúc này luôn. Thưa cô chú anh chị, nhớ lại cái thuở thiếu thời thì chẻ củi bằng cái rựa. Mà cái rựa là cái miền Đà Lạt thì gọi như vậy. Còn những cái địa phương hay tỉnh thành khác thì không biết gọi là bằng cái gì. Nhưng mà bây giờ qua Mỹ rồi thì mình dùng máy móc, nên cần phải biết cái sử dụng cái máy móc như thế nào. Nhìn thấy Mr. Bill chẻ từ ngoài vỏ vào trong ruột thì nó dễ dàng hơn. Nếu mà mình chẻ đúng cái tâm điểm của cây củi thì sẽ khó bể ra hơn. Những đoạn nào mắc thì nó không có dễ dàng tí nào hết cô chú anh chị. Thưa cô chú anh chị, hồi ở Đà Lạt, Việt Nam á, thì mình chừng mười mấy tuổi đi vào rừng thác Cam Ly nè, rồi đi sâu vào Tà Nung để lấy củi về nấu ăn. Khổ lắm, đi chở bằng xe đạp. Tà Nung là cái làng mà người dân tộc thiểu số họ ở thưa thớt lắm. Rừng cây thì rậm rạp, nhiều củi lắm, mà củi thì chắc để làm than được luôn. Còn cây ở Mỹ thì toàn cây tạp không à. Cây cao mà to mà không có chắc được, nên dùng để đốt sưởi ấm bậy bạ thôi.
Bill's Gardening, and one of the things that I do is I take a lot of my local resources, things that are a resource to me, and I repurpose them. In my 4 acres of property here, I'm all the time have trees that fallen, and my neighbors have trees that fallen. There's other places that I work with, their trees have fallen. Rather than take them and to the dump or the landfill or to the bigger places where they grind them up, I use my firewood to heat my house. And I save myself about $200, $250 a month. Been doing this all my life. I'm 60 years old now, and me, my father, and my 2 brothers, we would go to the woods and we would chainsaw trees. Of course, you know, we lived in a farm, so the farmland was plentiful with trees. But we heated our home. This goes all the way back to when I was 2 years old. So I've heated my house now for approximately 50 years, and I know wood heat is a comfortable heat because it's a dry heat. And then because I like my house maybe a little warmer than most, I'm a woodsman. I guess I've gone through about a dozen chainsaws in my life, but if I'm going to say anything, steel has been my best saw. Steel and Husqvarna. I've got a big Husqvarna. It's a 24-inch bar. It's probably a 5-horse motor, and I chop up a 3-foot tree, 3 foot across. But this is just no problem. But my little steel MS250, it's when I keep the bar sharp, or the chain on the bar lubricated and sharp, use best oil and gas. It cuts the trees. Just I have fun. I have fun cutting wood. And today, my friend Hib is behind the phone, and he's doing a video. This is my log splitter. This is what I used to chop the wood small enough to put it in my stove. I've had this for about 7 years. Just so happens I'm a Home Depot lover. I love going to my local Home Depot, and I saw this with a for sale sign on it. Now, with a good log splitter, this happens to be, I think, a Bragg Barleo. This is made in America, and this is a heavy-duty log splitter. It's got 27 tons of pushing force, and I have split some firewood. I probably split at least 500 or 600 cords of firewood with this over the years. But at this point, it's still running. I did a video earlier of it chopping some wood. I got a V in the tree. I was trying to chop on the V, and it struggled on that a little bit because I wasn't cutting what's called with the grain. When you're cutting firewood, you always got to cut with the grain. It leaves for less splinters in the wood. And this just happens to be white oak. White oak is pretty good splitting. It don't leave a bunch of strands. So you only have to cut about generally half the piece, and it just falls apart. There's other woods out there where you can get into the wood, and you got to cut all the way through the wood because it's a real stringy wood. But this guy right here, I picked it up for I think about $2,000. It's about a $5,000 log splitter, and it depends on what you're doing. If you're just a single home and you're trying to heat your home, and you want to invest in a small log splitter, you'll have a small split. The bigger log splitters, you get a bigger split, and I think you might have seen some pile of my wood. I have no qualm about burning all wood. Whatever I can fit in my wood burner is pretty good, except for pine. Pine has a lot of sap in it, and the sap will just literally just clog up the fume where it comes out, the smoke comes out. I've done a lot of biochar too. I've made biochar over the years. The biochar goes into my agriculture. So I will charcoal firewood and turn it into a biochar, and it adds a benefit to your soil. But this guy, he's a workhorse, and so am I. They call me the bull. And this has a back blade to where if the piece is stuck in, if the ram is stuck into the wood, I put this down and it'll back right off the piece of wood. So this is a back ram. It's come in handy several times. It's good to have that ram on it. Everything here is heavy duty. The hoses, the motor, I think it's a Kawasaki. No, it's a Subaru. The Subaru's been a good motor, but never let the gas sit in them longer than 6 weeks. If you do, well, it might be a carburetor change. This has been carburetor changed now. So I've had to do a new carburetor. Well, it's no problem. I looked online and found another carburetor. It cost me like $100. I put that on, and now I learned my lesson. Either drain it or just run it till it's dry, and then make sure that the float bowl doesn't have any residue gas in it for next season, because these will sit for 3 or 4 months at a time, maybe 6 months if you're not using them. This one happens to be a tow, where I can tow behind my car. I've taken it over to a friend's house a couple times, and this is a really good tow. I mean, I can go places with it, and it bounces a little bit on the road, you know, as far as, you know, behind the truck, but it's been a good log splitter for me. I've been able to keep it going. It isn't a one season deal where I was using it for just 1 year. I take care of it though. I keep it covered. That's what this plastic's for. You always, on a motor, keep the motor out of the rain. Oh, careful. And so I keep the motor covered. And like most motors, It's good just to keep them out of the weather. So you always want to keep your stuff covered, especially during when it gets rained on, so your water don't get into the motor itself or into the gas, because that will not be good, because water and gas don't usually mix. Gas floats on water, so then if you figure out why your system's not running, it could be full of water. I think you saw me using it earlier. It splits firewood. The best way to split a piece of firewood is always look for the grain. I do several grain cuts. This was a grain cut right here. I'm cutting against the grain, or there's a crack right here, so I look for the crack. It's where the crack is running through the wood, and so I split on that crack. Cutting with the grain is easy. Cutting against the grain is a little harder, but you know, this machine will run through, and then if the wood is dry, you can chunk it right up. Hey! My sex ass is talking to us.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's saying. I don't know rooster talk, but he loves to talk. He talks at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But that's when I generally get up. The hens are out. They're out picking today. They're looking for things that, you know, acorns. They eat a lot of acorns, and I let them free range occasionally. Anyway, I got very special this year. I put in. Okay. I put in a wood boiler. A boiler is where you heat the water and you bring your water into the house, and then you go through a heat exchanger, and the heat exchanger gives you hot air. It's after, and this is only like 6 months old, so I put. Okay. He's talking to his girls. He talks a lot to his girls. By the way, he is the head man. Yeah, he's got a harem. So, this stove, I'm a Facebook person, so a Facebook marketplace. This is a wood boiler. It holds about 95 gallons of water, and it's hardy. It's a hardy stove. This was manufactured in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and this is because somebody shot their shotgun and they peppered the stove. This is all stainless steel, and because this is stainless steel, it don't rust, and that's premium when you're outside, especially over longevity of years and years and years. And then you're running heat, and so with the heat, this here. But this is capable of heating 120,000 BTUs. And my house, I could probably get a 60,000 BTU unit and heat my home just fine. But you know, bigger is better. Well, this comes on about once every hour, and it cycles the house to about 10 degrees. And I fill it up once a day. And I empty the ashes out occasionally. I carry the ashes over here to my gardens and drop it in the can, wait for them to cool, and I use them as fertilizer or phosphate for my soil. So that's a benefit. So things that I do are because of years and years and years. But let me tell you, it's hard work. You gotta come up to it. It's hard work. I mean, I was picking up 70, 80 pound pieces of wood, so my core of right here has to be strong enough to support that. And and then I have the other equipment too that I use, that I bring it here. The tractor helps me to pick it up, to put it on the splitter, because I've learned my lesson at 60 years old. I can no longer pick up a 100-pound piece of wood, and I'm not even going to attempt to do that, because I got to be around for at least another 30 years. And as far as anybody, I love wood smoke. I'm out here. I don't have any neighbors within a half a mile to a mile. So I don't mind smoking a little bit. That's what it does. It cooks the wood, and the wood fires, and it heats the house, and it's just what I've been doing for the last 50 years, 60 years. So Yeah, I have chickens too, and they lay eggs, and I eat good. Nothing better than a chicken egg sandwich with a little bit of mayo and some ketchup. So gives you plenty of protein. And they clean out the bugs whenever there's a bug out there. They're working on that. So I don't know too much about if you could find one, and if you got the what you want to do and make it part of your life. I highly recommend it. Wood boiler. I did have a central system before where it was a furnace, but it was inside the house, and we'd have to carry the wood in the house. And well, there's bugs there. And then you also had when you opened the stove door, you might catch some smoke in the house. Didn't care for that too much. It heat our house just fine. So that's just one of the things we do.
Thưa cô chú anh chị, là hôm nay mình quay trở lại nhà của Mr. Bill. Và Mr. Bill training dạy mình cách mà chẻ củi. Nó là lần đầu tiên mình thử chẻ cái này.
What's wrong?
Nothing at all. You think me small, but
Yeah.
lần đầu tiên thì Hiệp chẻ củi mà cũng hơi sợ một tí, thì ông Bill cũng nhắc nhở là đeo kiến để bảo hộ đôi mắt của mình. Thưa cô chú anh chị, đây là cái lò để đun nước sôi, để là heat water.
Yes. And keep the house warm.
Keep the house warm.
Feed. Gotta feed it.
And when you put right here, they fry it all night.
Yes.
Oh, all night.
Yeah. Once in the morning and once at night. Put wood in. Everything good. Keep the house nice and about 70, 75 degrees. Yes. And this clean too. It burned clean.
Yeah. Thưa cô chú anh chị, Hiệp đã học được cái cách mà chẻ củi bằng máy rồi. Quý vị xem video nhớ like, subscribe và share cái video giúp Hiệp nhé. Một lần nữa cảm ơn cô chú anh chị rất là nhiều.